Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back to the Uncle Sharma channel. We have made it through this long ass summer of transfer window. Well, the transfer window is not over yet, but it's that time tomorrow into play against Monza. Don't worry, guys, there will be a preview video just for that, and there will be a separate Serie A preview in general. We've got to look at our team now, our Inter. How do we do over this summer? What is this squad looking like? What does Simone Inzaghi have to play with this season, and what's the kind of tactical outlook for Simone Inzaghi this season? So first of all, let's take a look at how the Mercato went up until now. Again, we'll have to do a full Mercato review, I think, when the Mercato is actually over, because as we're seeing at the moment, there's rumors of this Pavard deal. Or today, Inzaghi, in his press conference, very clearly stated, I want a right centre back. Very specifically, he talked about the braccetto destro, so the right centre back, which is the one priority that we've been all talking about, the Skriniar replacement, basically. So the directors need to deliver him that. But overall, shouts out to @Impuzino on Twitter, who made this quick calculation around Inter's transfer window this season. We know Onana, Brozovic, Gosens, Mulattieri, Colidio, Males, Hoti, Perzin, Stankovic on loan, and now we need to add Esposito on loan to this as well, and potentially Valentino Lazzaro today for about 4 million. But let's say quick and dirty, 100 million out, and then incomings. You can see Augusto, Arnautovic, Bisek, Summer. I know people don't want to count, loans with obligations because you're not paying them this year, but it's a commitment. When there's an obligation, Inter have committed to pay a certain fee. For example, with Frattesi, they've committed to pay 32 million, Augusto 13 to 15 million, Arnautovic 10, however you want to look at it. So overall, the difference between outgoings and incomings is about plus, let's say, 27 to 30 million, which is again the rumored fee that we're trying to bid for Pavard today. So there is that little bit of money left to spend, and I've been saying, spend that money. I want to see that money being spent up until the end of the season, and we'll see. The work that Auxilio Marotta have done, I know we are looking at it in quite rightly as fans. We reached a Champions League final, and you are doing this to our team. But their job, from what they're told, from the issue that is at Inter, our owners, but they've been told to cut costs by at least 10 to 15% in terms of salaries and squad cost, which is different. Squad cost is the amortizations and the salaries together, and they've managed to do that. They've hit their targets this season. If we look at Calcio Finanza, have presented this very, very nicely in terms of the outgoings. Onana, Brozovic themselves, the positive impact of their capital gains plus money saved on their wages have a positive impact on Inter's budget or books of about 70 million just on their own. And adding the Lukaku savings, the Skriniar savings, the Dzeko savings, it's almost 175 million they've estimated in terms of potential savings to Inter's books. So that's fantastic work in terms of that. Some of these obviously they didn't have choice in. Some of these players had to leave, and this is it. They're talking about players, the amount of players cost. This is not the transfer cost. This is the amortizations and the salaries cost this season at the moment are about 58 million euros compared to 175 million euros in savings, equaling 165 impact on the balances. So they're talking about around 20. These are their calculations. We'll see how accurate they are. But anyway, even if it's 15% or 20%, they've done a stellar work in terms of that. And then they're even saying that the salaries, the cost of the incomings / outgoings difference is 44 million. So much higher than what the Impuzino did on Twitter that we looked at earlier. But regardless of that, this is the end result of this summer, guys. This is the end result. Let's go back to front. How is the squad looking? In goal, going from Onana to Handanovic to Zoma, Audero. I think that's a downgrade. a slight downgrade. We'll see. We'll see. I've told you guys in Zoma, I like Zoma, but I've never been the biggest fan. Um, so to me, that's a slight downgrade. Although, if you think about it, if we think about it in terms of how we started last season, guys, first what 6, 7 games, can't remember how many games, but Handanovic started the season last time around. So you could say that Zoma actually, compared to the beginning of last season, might be a bit of a, it might be a better start to the season because we know Inzaghi took too long to bring Onana in to the team, and Handanovic we knew has been on a long downward trajectory. And by the way, guys, no, this is no shots at Handanovic. No one signed Handanovic at the moment. He didn't say he's retiring, so I don't know what's happening with Handanovic. That says a lot. Baudero as well in terms of backup. I would maybe put him. I think Handanovic as a backup was fine last year, and again, I would have kept him as a backup this year, especially with how much we struggled to find the backup. You could say that we're okay there. Is the Zoma Onana? Let's see. At the moment, I'm saying that's a downgrade. Defense. Now, this is, I think, one of the big issues this summer. And of course, as we said, Inzaghi wants a guy here. Matteo Darmian, just like we started last season, even when he was a right wing back, I have the utmost respect for Matteo Darmian. Every single team needs a Matteo Darmian. We are so blessed to have a Matteo Darmian in this team. And again, he can double up as right wing back as well in games where you want to be more defensive, where you don't trust Dumfries or Cuadrado in, or they're injured. But in a team that wants to be progressive with the ball, wants to sometimes defend with the higher line as well, and of course, long-term future. Matteo Darmian is 33. He's only got 1 year left on his contract. Someone has to be signed there. That's why Pavard, Mavropanos, I don't know, whoever you got, like someone needs to be signed there between the ages of like 25 to 30 max. It has to be someone that at least we know is there for 2 or 3 years with resale value as well. Bisek, guys, I'm going to be real with you guys. Jan Bisek, Big Biz, as he likes to say, that's his nickname. I'm predicting max 1,000 minutes, and I think you'll be lucky to get those. I'm already seeing signs from Inzaghi. I don't think he trusts him, and he does look quite raw at the moment. And especially if we do sign that right centre back, as we should, I see him maybe coming into this position here. That's the position actually played a lot for Aarhus, the team that we signed him from, even though he's right-footed. So I could see him, coming here, becoming one of the options here. But I really don't see him getting a lot of minutes, guys. But he was still, I'm glad we made that signing. That's the type of signing Inter need to start making. 7 million, easily you get that money back, even if you don't play him that much. So this position for now, with D'Ambrosio gone, that his experience gone for the moment, this is a downgrade. No Skriniar. This is a downgrade at the moment. Acerbi De Vrij, this has remained exactly the same. I was against the renewal of De Vrij, especially because how expensive it is. That guy still earns 4 million net, which is about 7 million gross in salary. Crazy money. Like he would be, if you put him in Milan's team, he's one of their highest paid players. But because of the situation, we know had to be done. Whatever. Hopefully he improves this year. He's still 31. He's not at the end of his career. That's still a guy that can still have a good couple of years. Acerbi, he had the season of his life. We on this channel gave him our player of the season last year for his consistency. Already has picked up an injury here. He's going to be 35, 36 going into the season. Can he replicate another season like that? So you could say that the main level is maintained, but a 1 year older Acerbi in this role, again, let's say that maintains level is maintained there. Now here, Bastoni, Augusto, maybe I'll put Augusto in there because Carlos Augusto can maybe cover this position. You could also maybe put Di Marco there. We know Inzaghi's played him there, but I would see Augusto much more safe in that position because I think physically he's much more of a guarantee than Di Marco there. So you could say that maybe, and we know Acerbi can also play there. He's left-footed, as we said. Bisa can play there. So you could say we've got more options in this position now. But overall, defense for now, as the market stands now, is a downgrade as well. So we're not starting off that great in defense overall. Now midfield, this is where I think we've added depth. So adding Frattesi is amazing, guys. Like, what are the team? Because as we'll get into the predicted lineup in the separate video for tomorrow, but for tomorrow, Hakan, Mkhitaryan, Barella will be the starting midfield. Who in Serie A has a midfielder of the level of Davide Frattesi as the backup, guys? That's crazy. That is real depth. And on the other hand, Sensi, of course, we know is a big question mark in fitness, but who else has the quality, a midfielder of the quality of Stefano Sensi as well as the sixth midfielder? But of course, we know that's a massive if, all relating to his physical fitness and how much Inzaghi trusts him, because we've seen over the last couple of seasons, looks like Inzaghi doesn't really trust him, to be honest. And he spoke about him today in glowing terms, but I want to see how much actually time he gets to play. But that's a quartet. That's a real solid quartet. Again, Mkhitaryan, similar to Acerbi, had a fantastic season, Mkhitaryan, but can he replicate that now at the age of 34 he is? Let's see. CDM, Hakan, now full-time CDM Regista. Let's see if he can step up. I mean, he did step up to the play last season in the absence of Brozovic. We had our best games with Hakan at centre defensive mid in the Champions Leagues. Until all the knockout stages, we played pretty much with Hakan. Milan derbies, Barcelona group stage games, Hakan was there. He still isn't, in my opinion, as good a Regista in terms of ball playing, short passing, receiving the ball under pressure, evading pressure, those top situations. He's not to the level of Brozovic. I don't think he ever will be, but he does add more physicality, tackling ability. He's a bit more of a powerful runner as well. But they've given him a new contract. He's one of the leaders of this team. Hakan is our CDM. That's fine. So we're pretty much there as we were last season. And Aslani, he has to at least double his minutes this season. I think he had about 700, 800 minutes last season, if I remember correctly, or something like along those lines. Actually, let's check live with you guys. How many minutes did he have last season? Because I want to see those doubled at least from last season. That is my minimum ask. Yeah, so 858. So let's say 800. I want to see 1,600 minutes from Aslani this season. No excuse for Inzaghi, because now there isn't Brozovic there. I understood last season he only sees him as a CDM. He didn't see him in the other roles, so he needs to be, if Hakan's is suspended, injured, or needs rest, Aslani has to start. And I'm happy, and I think he will step up to the plate. So midfield, I think overall, of course, we lost Brozovic, but we lost Gagliardini, guys. Gagliardini, we're getting Sensi, Frattesi instead of Gagliardini in there. That's a big upgrade. Midfield, I think, overall, in terms of depth, has been upgraded. And if Sensi, actually stays fit, that's upgraded. So finally, we get some upgrades. And then to the wing backs, I'm saying that's an upgrade as well. At the moment, we're counting Dumfries as a starter, but Cuadrado, I think, slowly may take over that spot. Adds that more of a dribbling 1v1 ability, and also ball playing ability. He's a very good passer as well, so adds more technical ability in the team. So for free, it is what it is. He took the number 7 though, guys, today. I don't know if you guys saw, Arnautovic took the 8 and Cuadrado took the 7. Cuadrado, I'm not against the sign of a Cuadrado, but on a moral level, we know the pain that it caused us, and him actually taking the number 7. The Inter-Metaverse. So upgrade there. Di Marco, Augusto. Di Marco, of course, had a fantastic season last year. Can he keep that level? If he does, fantastic left wing back, starting left wing back. If not, I think we have not a better wing back, but I think a better suited wing back than Robin Gosens in the squad this year. A younger, more energetic, and more fit, which was the problem for Robin Gosens in Carlos Augusto. Give him some time, guys. I think this guy, you will like him. So midfield and wing backs, I think this is where we have upgraded in depth and quality. Now, here we come to the biggest question mark for Inter this season, the strikers. Marcus Thuram. Our season, Lautaro will give us his 20 plus goals. And we know that that's pretty much almost guaranteed with Lautaro now. He's our captain and everything. We'll get to him in a minute. I think our season really depends on Marcus Thuram in terms of how long does he take to get accustomed to this team, to this 3-5-2, a formation that he's not played in, to Lautaro, Arnautovic, Correa, to his partners, to Inzaghi's tactics, to Italy, to Serie A. My question marks with Thuram are especially coming against closed defenses in transition. He was an absolute monster in the Bundesliga with Gladbach. Preseason hasn't been good, but I don't care about preseason. He does deserve time because any player that comes from a different league deserves time to adapt and everything like that. But unfortunately, in the situation that we're in, we need this guy to be banging straight away. Sorry, Marcus, but we need you to bang straight away. And I've put Thuram and Correa next to each other because essentially, in terms of profile, it's Thuram. You know, who was originally supposed to be signed instead of Correa? It was Marcus Thuram, the guy that's roaming to run in behind with pace, with dribbling ability. In the end, we signed Correa for that same profile. Correa, of course, massive flop. So Thuram needs to basically do what Correa was never able to do, to deliver us 10 plus goals. As I said, I've given him at least he has to match Dzeko's output from last season, 14 goals in all competitions. Marcus, you need to deliver that. He scored 13 last year for Gladbach, so why not do that at Inter as well? And of course, I know we don't want to think about that already. We're talking about this season, but we need to think about next summer as well. If Thuram bangs, signed for a free, if this guy scores 15 to 20 goals, that value skyrockets. 26, 27-year-old, he's worth 40, 50 million straight away, minimum. And you have your sacrifice. I know that's not how we want to think, guys, but that's as long as Suning are here, that's how, unfortunately, we will think. But anyway, Thuram, big shoes to fill, big hope, and I'm happy that we signed him. But he does. Our season really depends on this guy. And Correa, how many guys? If he stays, hopefully, pray to God that someone buys this guy. But we know he probably won't. No one probably will. But if he stays, it's last chance saloon. I mean, it was last chance saloon last year already, but he's 29 now. Like, come on, bro, you gotta deliver goals and assists, at least double digits, which he still hasn't done in 2 years at Inter in either of his seasons, or at least stay fit. I mean, that's the thing as well. This guy, he doesn't contribute, but then he also gets injured. It's like, ugh, what a pain. But anyway, let's move on. Lautarito now. This guy had his, as I said, best season at Inter last year. Not just goals, he had the best goal tally, but also assists. This guy put up I think at least 10 assists, if I remember correctly. 30 plus GA, fantastic. And now he's the captain of this team. He is one of the leaders of this team. He is one of the longest serving players in this team. He is the main guy. And this is the season where he needs to grab the team by the scruff of the neck. You know, Scudetto winning season, Lukaku was the main guy. Last season, he was the main guy, but he was good at some moments, but we know he has those weeks. It's not like he has a couple of games. He goes weeks without, and it's not even the goals. I've always said I don't really care if he goes 7-8 games without scoring a goal. It's just like his performances completely drop off as well for 7-8 games in a row. He can't do that this season. We need him to stay consistent, and we need him to deliver those goals on a consistent basis as well. Or those assists, at least, if he doesn't score. He needs to be doing something even on those off days, because that's the only way this Inter team can survive, because we know we're not efficient, we're not clinical, but we're waiting for Lautaro still. You know, he's still 26. We know that's still not the peak age for a striker. We're waiting for him to take that next step. And if he does, if he takes that next step to becoming what Osimhen was last year for Napoli, or Rafa Leao was for AC Milan the season before, or Romelu Lukaku was for us in the Conte one, the last 3 title-winning seasons in Serie A, that shining light of the team, then we can really, really talk about Scudetto. Otherwise, we can't. Of course, Thuram, Correa, Arnautovic, the supporting cast, they need to be the Kvaratskhelia to Lautaro's Osimhen. Lautaro himself was the great, partner to Lukaku in the Scudetto winning season. So someone out of Thuram, Arnautovic, I'm not even going to mention Correa, needs to step up to that plate. So let's finish up with Marko Arnautovic. As I said in my scout report, if you haven't watched it, I do think he is a good signing in terms of, if you look at just that profile, I think he complements Lautaro. He does the job that Dzeko used to do in terms of his physicality, hold-up play, link-up play, and he adds a bit more in terms of shooting outside of the box and a bit of dribbling ability, a bit of flair. If we look past his age, of course, can he step up to the plate, though, how Dzeko used to do in big games? And again, he needs to at least deliver 14, 15, 16 goals, all comps minimum. But yeah, the strike force is definitely, we went from Dzeko, Lukaku, Lautaro to now Thuram, Lautaro, Arnautovic. It's a little bit of a downgrade. So overall, to finish up the video, downgrade around here, upgrade in all these areas here, bit of a downgrade down here. Overall, it's a sidestep / downgrade at the moment for me. But profile-wise, the guys that we've signed this season, younger, average age has gone down, which we've been asking for a while. More pace, more athleticism, a dribbler in the team in terms of Thuram. We can put Cuadrado in there as well. From deep as well, someone like Frattesi, who's more of a ball carrier from deep. Sensi, if he stays fit, Augusto as well. There's more complete. The squad is a bit more complete, in my opinion, in profiles than we were last season. We're just missing those big names, such as world-class players like the Skriniars, like the Brozovic, like the Lukaku, whatever you think of him when he was fit. So overall, I think this team is able, again, I think in Serie A, in this Serie A, is good enough to challenge for a Scudetto, but I don't think all the bookmakers for some reason have Inter as the favorites. I don't know, every single one I've checked has Inter as their favorites in the odds, which to me is confusing. And today, as of now, this Mercato, because we haven't finished it, if we get someone like Benji Pavard or a top class centre back, progressive centre back, then my opinion changes. But as of now, I see Inter as a team that's definitely in the top 4. Where in the top 4, I can't really say at the moment. I would say third. We finished third last season. Actually, we have to remember, by the way, it's because of Juventus's minus points as well. But I'd put us pretty much where we were last season. We've saved money, but the squad has kind of stayed stagnant, got younger, but not sure if actually improved or not. So between 4th and 2nd, I see this squad at the moment. And Champions League as well. I think we've done well in terms of depth. We need that one more centre back, and if we can get rid of Correa, one more striker. But numbers wise, we are good. So I think it's a good enough team. Injuries pertaining, of course, to challenge on multiple fronts. Although this season, I would prefer Inzaghi abandoning his Coppa Italia. Like, now, okay, brother, you won it twice in a row now. I mean, I was saying last season we already won it, but really this season I don't care for spreading this energy thin of the squad. Of course, Champions League, try to go as far as you can. But I honestly not going to lose sleep if we don't win the Coppa Italia or even the Supercoppa as well this year. But Inzaghi has a deeper squad with lots of options that gives him a more transition counter-attacking ability with a bit more pace. It's up to Inzaghi. Let's see if he's able to cope with that, because we know he tried to play a higher line at the beginning of last season. We were hemorrhaging goals. This is the defense. If it stays the same, and if Inzaghi still wants to play higher up the pitch, it will still hemorrhage goals, in my opinion. So he needs to understand that this team is still made to be a little bit mid to low block, counter-attack, transition. That's the way this team needs to play, especially with now players like Thuram in the team. So let's see how Limone Inzaghi approaches this. But of course, fresh off getting top 3 nominations in UEFA Coach of the Year, so he deserves that for his performances in the Champions League. But Inzaghi, we're in your hands. We're in your hands. I have full faith in Limone Ball to maybe deliver that second star. At the moment, I'm not too confident, but I'm not as negative as a lot of Interisti. I've seen Interisti say, "Oh, we can't make top 4." I'm thinking that's the exaggeration. But yeah, guys, this is Inter squad for the 23-24 season. I am looking forward to watching this Inter play. It's a different Inter, lots of changes, lots of new names, younger names, older names, exciting names. I just want to get the season underway. Let me know your thoughts down below about the video, my thoughts, your opinion on this squad. What's missing? What would you improve? What did Inter get wrong? What can this Inter team achieve? Let me know in the comments down below. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Ciao ragazzi, always, Forza Inter.